All right, so I'm back with another update on what meat is available for this Christmas. And I know if you're in a Publix area, you're happy right now because just like me, you just went and picked up two rib roasts and had them cut into either bone-in ribeyes, or in this case, we got ribs and we have regular ribeyes. Now, Katie picked these up today, which is exciting to me because she is finally getting to where she's comfortable asking for the person in the meat market how to cut the meat, because that's something that I know people aren't used to doing. They're used to just picking up whatever's on the shelf if they're not used to a carnivore lifestyle. And she's getting to where she's comfortable with that now. She got them to trim it the way I asked. I told them not to trim off a lot of the fat, and whatever fat they did trim, we wanted to keep it. So she was able to get that. She was also able to get them cut into ribs, which is great for slow cooking. And like I said, we've got these beautiful ribeyes. And right now, she is trying to get back into the carnivore lifestyle. She's been taking some advice from people on how to deal with her ice cream cravings. She's looking at a keto chow product that's supposed to help with that. I am not a huge fan of those type of products, but hey, if it helps her to overcome her addiction to ice cream and get her on a path that's going to get her on a road to healing, I'm all for it. So I'm going to make a quick ribeye for the both of us to share, and maybe we'll have some more later. That's been the neat thing about learning about being a carnivore with somebody, is how you plan your day when it comes to what you're going to be eating together so that you can do it right. That can be the difficult part. So tell you what, let me go ahead and salt this thing first. Normally, I like to prepare the meat ahead of time and get it salted about at least an hour beforehand and let the meat sit either out at room temperature, or I'll let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. But many times I'm just going to take it right out of the package like this and cook it because I need to eat it. And I knew she was coming home with those ribeyes today, and I wanted to have a ribeye. I haven't had a good ribeye since Thanksgiving when I had my last of the cow that I bought this year, the ribeye that came from that.
Hey, it's Dante Ferrigno. I just wanted to thank you first of all for watching this video, but I also wanted to tell you about my merch shop. I have a link in the description for a bunch of different items I've put together for you to be able to show your support for the carnivore lifestyle, and every purchase helps me to keep doing what I'm doing here on Ferrigno Freedom.
What I'm using here is Redmond smoked salt. I have various different kinds. This particular one is the Chef's Blend. They have multiple different flavors of smoked salt. I love it because I don't really like to grill a whole lot, especially with wood. I have found that propane can be great on certain grills and horrible on other grills, but I've never been much of a griller, although I do love the Schwenk grill, but that's a video for another day. But what I do love is the air fryer because it has made this way of eating so easy to do, and it's why I've been able to stick with it for 4 years. If I had to grill every day, if I had to cook on the stove every day, I would have never been able to make it. I'm not a chef. I'm not good at cooking. Air fryer makes all the difference in the world. The right air fryer can make your life a lot easier. The wrong air fryer can still make your life easy, but there are better options. And I have a whole bunch of videos where I talk about the various air fryers that I use. I've got multiple of them in here. But I'm not coming to talk to you about air fryers today. I wanted to talk to you about meat. And there's another important reason that you're going to want to stock up this holiday season. I'll get to that in just a second. So I just stuck that in the Dreo Chef Maker there, put in the temperature probe, set it for the settings for medium rare on a ribeye steak, set it for sous vide mode, and our steak will be ready shortly. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep wrapping and wrapping. I'm going to be wrapping and wrapping. We're going to wrap a little bit, and we're going to wrap about this thing with the meat and why it's such an important thing that you want to get some meat while it's at a good price right now. I have it on good information from some people in the cattle community that we should expect to see a increase in prices of meat, especially beef, because of a screwworm epidemic of some kind that's supposedly going on south of the border. I don't have all the details, but I do know ranchers who are aware of the fact that like 1 million or more head of cattle are not coming our way this year that would normally be coming because of this epidemic. And even though that may not be the kind of meat you usually buy anyway, it's going to have an effect on the overall meat market pricing. So as much as I'm afraid to tell you this, because I want to make sure I get enough to fill my freezer too, it's a good time to make sure you're stocked up on meat, because I understand we're in for some possibly rough times with meat prices, as if they haven't already been bad enough. But I want you to be able to get it while it's at the best price, and don't look back and say, I missed the opportunity to get it. Now, Publix isn't the only company running specials like this. You choose what type of beef you want. I'm very picky. I'm very picky about the type of meat that I eat. When it comes to beef, it's got to be USDA choice or better. I don't go for select. I can't afford prime, but that's one of the reasons I like Publix is it is USDA choice beef that is at a reasonable price. A lot of this stuff is coming in as ungraded when it's $6.99, $7.99 a pound this time of year. But if you found that meat to be good for your family, then I would say go ahead and get as much as you can, because it's going to be more expensive very soon. So I wish I had better news about that, but the good news is the price is here now, the sales are here now. So us carnivores, we can take advantage of this holiday season pricing and get stocked up so that we don't suffer through the tough times that might be coming. And I'm hoping to see some better times economically here soon too. So let's keep our chin up, but also make sure we've got the meat we need to eat. But I'm going to start wrapping this meat. One of the reasons why I don't wrap while I'm wrapping is because paper makes a lot of noise. I know a lot of people like to use vacuum sealers. I haven't gotten into a vacuum sealer yet because I think it's a waste of money, the amount of money that you spend on that plastic. The paper comes out to be a lot cheaper. It does take me a little longer. They do stay in the freezer just as well. So I don't have a problem with using paper, except that it does take a little bit more time. And I haven't found a machine that does what I want for a price that I think is reasonable yet. Plus, I don't want another machine on the countertops in here. So that's one of the reasons why I still wrap with paper. But I think it's it's an excellent way. And the type of paper I use is made for going in the freezer. It's made for having meat directly on it. And I'll put a link in the description for that paper, as well as the freezer tape that I use so that I can keep all these wrapped. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap these up, and when I'm done, I'll go ahead and show you how this steak came out. So I'm going to get to work. All right, so I'm done with all the wrapping I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take the ribs, because we got the ribs separated here, stick them in the crock pot, and this will be supper for tonight for the whole family. Some more Redmond smoked salt. I don't like to put it on the bottom of the meat that's going in the crock pot, because it tends to just run off into the juices down there. Not that I'm not going to use the juices too, but I don't want them to be too salty. So I make sure to cover the tops of everything. I've just found that it works out better that way. Again, I'm not a chef, I'm not a cook, I'm just a guy making his way on a carnivore way of eating, sharing my experiences with you, and this is what's been working with me for years. Let's see if we can fit one more in here without the plastic. Oh, why do we have plastic on here? Make sure we have any plastic in here. No plastic. That'll add a nice smoky flavor to those ribs. Don't need to have any barbecue sauce like I used to have. Just have them the way they come out of the pot. It's fantastic. It really is. I'm going to add a little bit of fat to it. And if I had room in here, I'd probably stuff this last pack of ribs in here, but we'll just save this for tomorrow. All right, I'm going to cover that up and put it on to cook for several hours. So we got dinner for tonight, and I'm going to show you the steak when it comes out in just a minute. All right, so here we are. This just wrapped up. Go ahead and pull it out of here. It's only been about a minute since the alarm went off for it. You can already see it's got a great color on the outside, which is what I love about this chef maker. It just does such a good job of making this meat perfect. Let's take a look at the inside. Now, because I cook this in sous vide mode, I do not need to rest the steak, because part of the cooking process figures in the rest time. So we should be able to just cut right into it. And I will say about when it comes to buying the steaks at Publix specifically, when I go in and place the order, as I mentioned in previous videos, I go in and ask for the entire rib roast and ask them to cut that into steaks. A lot of people think that they got to go in and take what's already cut on the shelf. My mother-in-law just got back from Publix and she bought a couple of these rib roasts too, but she bought directly off the shelf and asked them to cut them into steaks for her. So she got a little smaller. This was one rib roast for her, whereas mine was about twice as big. So when you ask for the whole rib roast, you can get 2 deals and have a lot more meat. You can really be getting 4 deals for what most people are getting. So that's something important to remember. All right, let's cut into this thing. I know my wife is sitting over here behind the camera waiting for me to do it because she's ready to eat too, and I am as well. So there we go. Nice medium rare cook, perfectly through, crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. Check the flavor. She's at that same point that I am. Yes, that's what I've been waiting on. I've been waiting on that food. She knows what food makes her feel the best, and I know what food makes me feel the best. Ruminant meat has been the key for me. Not everybody needs to have the same thing, but all of that's a video for another day. I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't miss out on getting some of the best deals on meat that are available right now. Check all of your local grocery stores, see what they have, look into the type of meat that it is, find out how you can get it cut, because now is the time to stock up. Between now and Easter, there's probably not a whole lot out there as far as great pricing on meat. And who knows what it's going to be at Easter time if what I mentioned before comes to fruition. So hopefully not. We'll just pray for the best, and I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy your meat.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?